Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the cricket show with your host Ram today. Well, in this cricket show, we are going to see the start today. The tri-series started between Australia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, with the curtain raiser being the opening match between Zimbabwe and Australia. Well, Zimbabwe, they had done very well, even though they lost against South Africa. They had done well against South Africa, with the bowlers doing well. But today, the problem for Zimbabwe was that the bowlers were absolutely, I would say, they were absolutely off the mark. There were a lot of too wide balls, short balls, and the Australian batsmen made absolute merry by smashing the Zimbabwean bowlers all around the park to put up a total of 350 runs for the 6 wickets, 350 for 6 of their 50 overs. And for Zimbabwe, that total proved too much for them, and they crumbled to 152 all out. Thus, Australia registering the first win of the tri-series today in the opening match by 198 runs, and also picking up bonus points. So that is one match. The second match, which is coming up tomorrow, is the second one-day international between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Once again, it is going to be played at the same ground in Hambantota. And as you know, the first one-day international was won in brilliant fashion by Pakistan after looking absolute no-hopers. So Sri Lanka would be probably thinking that tomorrow might be the day that they could actually try to level the series in the second one-day international, which is coming up tomorrow at Hambantota. And while I am talking to you, there is one match which is underway here, and that is the final one-day international between Bangladesh and West Indies. And as you know, Bangladesh can only, if at all Bangladesh want to save face, they can at least try to get one win. But let me tell you, by looking at things right now, that what's happening right now at Basseterre in the third one-day international between West Indies and Bangladesh is concerned, this is a day-night encounter which is being played here at the Basseterre grounds. And let me tell you, it doesn't look like Bangladesh would be able to save face, because West Indies batting, even though they lost 2 quick wickets today, they were 12 for 2 at one stage. In fact, West Indies actually won the toss. They elected to bat first on this pitch. And both the openers, Chris Gayle and Simmons, were sent in pretty early to the pavilion by the Bangladeshi bowlers, and the score read 12 for 2. And while I'm talking to you, the score for West Indies is standing at 210 for 2. It's a 198 runs partnership between Darren Bravo, who's going strong. He's not out on 95 of 100 balls with 7 fours and 6 sixes. And Dinesh Ramadan is also absolutely equal to what in fact Dinesh Ramadan is 98 of 85 balls with 5 fours and 5 sixes. So as you know, it's a small ground, but let me tell you, looking at things, it looks like West Indies are definitely poised at this stage of the game in the 36th over to go in excess of, probably they would be eyeing a 350 mark today. And let me tell you, this 199 runs partnership now unbroken between Dinesh Ramadan and Darren Bravo for the third wicket. And Bangladesh once again, after getting the early initiative by dismissing both the openers early, still couldn't capitalize. And the West Indies batting, Dinesh Ramadan and Darren Bravo, have been really dealing very severely with the Bangladeshi bowlers. Well, we'll come back to that later. So today, first I'm going to start off with this game between Zimbabwe and Australia. And this was the first match of the tri-series in Zimbabwe, which was played at the Harare Sports Club between Australia and Zimbabwe. It was the toss was won by the home captain, Elton Chigumbura, Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwean captain Elton Chigumbura decided that since probably he thought that the bowlers have been doing a very good job against South Africa, and so he probably thought the bowlers would be their best bet, and he unleashed the bowlers on the Australians. Well, as far as the openers were concerned, Aaron Finch opened with, in fact, there was a surprise that even though Michael Clarke was not able to play due to injury, it was a surprise that Phil Hughes, who was into the team, was not given an opportunity. Instead, they decided to promote Brad Haddin as an opener with Aaron Finch. Well, the early overs was pretty tight by the Bangladeshi bowlers. Probably the Australian batsmen were willing to have a good look at the bowlers, and that's what they were precisely doing when Tinasha Panyangra and the left-arm seamer Tendai Chatara was bowling. It was a quiet start for Australia, but later on, once the spinners were introduced, the Australian batting was really started to blossom, with Aaron Finch and Brad Haddin starting to use their feet and starting picking up runs, and slowly the partnership swelled to 98 for the first wicket in the 19th over, with Brad Haddin's contribution being 46 of 58 balls with 2 fours and 2 sixes. Aaron Finch contributing 67 of 79 balls with 5 fours and 3 sixes. And after that, George Bailey was dismissed cheaply. He was the only one who was to miss out today. He was gone for 14, which made the score 178 for 3 in the 37th over. We had a promotion today. In fact, Mitchell Marsh, the all-rounder, was being promoted. Instead of sending George Bailey one drop, what Australia did, probably doing an experimentation here for the World Cup, they decided to promote Mitchell Marsh to come in as one drop, and well, he definitely delivered the goods as he went on hitting the Zimbabwean bowlers in a very merciless manner by lofting the ball, by driving well and picking up runs, and he got a wonderful partner in Jim Maxwell, and suddenly runs were just bleeding from the bats of the Australians. From 178 for 3, there was a wonderful partnership that happened, which took the score on to 287. Let me tell you, the way they did, the way Mitchell Marsh and Glenn Maxwell did it was something to behold, because they really put the Zimbabwean bowling attack to the sword by racking up 109 runs. This partnership had taken the score from 178 to 287 in how many overs? If you look at it, 9 overs, and 109 runs were added by Mitchell Marsh and Glenn Maxwell, who really started pounding the Zimbabwean bowling by playing some lot of aerial strokes, and Maxwell in particular went on to pick up his highest score in one-day internationals of 93 of just 46 deliveries, 9 fours and 5 sixes clattered into the stands. Mitchell Marsh also did the same. In fact, he was the highest scorer with 89 of 83 deliveries with 7 fours and 4 sixes, and this was the partnership which enabled Australia to go on to a huge total of 350 for 6. And I was told at the Harare Sports Club this was the highest score ever made by a team, and that was the score which was there. Stephen Smith was run out for 1, Faulkner not out fine. Mitchell Johnson hit one of those sixes. He really picked Tinasha Panyangra on the up and lofted him into the commentators. And let me tell you, one of the famed commentators, Pami Bangwa, was commentating at the time. The ball actually went and landed into the commentator's box. In fact, shards of glass broke, and it actually had some bruises for the famed commentator Pami Bangwa. Very unfortunate, but such was the power of Johnson's stroke when he sent it soaring into the commentary box for a 6. So that was the end of it. So Australia finished with 350 for 6, and the Zimbabwean bowling, which even though they lost against South Africa, as I said, the bowling was the one which was doing the job for them. But today the Zimbabwean bowling, let me tell you, really was feeling the pressure of the Australian batting here, barring the few quiet overs that Tinasha Panyangra and Chatara bowled. Other than that, it was absolute mayhem for the Zimbabwean bowlers. Panyangra 7 overs, 1 maiden, none for 68. Tendai Chatara, the costliest, 9 overs for 77 runs and 2 wickets. John Nimbu, the right-arm off spinner, taken to the cleaners today, 8 overs for 64 runs with 1 wicket to his name. Sean Williams 10 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 59. Chigumbura bowled 6 overs, 1 for 33. Prosper Utsaya, I thought, bowled with a semblance of respectability, 10 overs, 1 maiden, none for 44. As far as the Zimbabwean innings were concerned, chasing such a huge total, there was enormous pressure on the Zimbabwean batsmen. And today, Zimbabwe decided not to experiment with Richmond Mutumbami. As you know, Richmond Mutumbami was the wicketkeeper batsman, was the one who opened the innings against South Africa. But today, Zimbabwe decided that they're going to put in a new person to open the innings. And he was also he was for the first time playing in this trial series. He made a comeback into the Zimbabwean team, and Tino Mowoyo was included, and he was opening with Sikandar Raza today. But well, even though Zimbabwe tried to have a new opening combination, it didn't really succeed, as Tino Mowoyo was sent packing early to the pavilion by an angled delivery from Mitchell Starc, which had Tino Mowoyo LBW for 1. So he was gone. The score was 1 for 1. And after that, Sikandar Raza was at the crease. And Sikandar Raza, he loves to play his strokes. Sikandar Raza and Hamilton Masakadza, the experienced campaigner, joined hands and slowly tried to correct the situation for Zimbabwe with putting on 63 runs, with Hamilton Masakadza playing some handsome strokes, but Sikandar Raza in particular playing some very good flowing offside strokes, and things were going pretty well, in the sense they were trying to change whatever the situation was. But once it reached 64, Nathan Lyon tempted Sikandar Raza into a rash stroke, and he was gone, caught by Marsh bowl Lyon for 33, 40 balls with 5 fours. Other than that, Hamilton Masakadza was the only man who could offer some resistance to this Australian attack. In fact, he did his best, but he could not get any company from any of the batsmen, as he lost Brendan Taylor for 10 or 14 balls with 2 fours. Chigumbura was out for a duck. He was absolutely shaken by a delivery from Mitchell Johnson, which rose at him. Brendan Taylor was out for 10. Chigumbura was out for a duck. Sean Williams was dismissed for a duck. Then Richmond Mutumbami was out for 11 of 24 balls with 1 4. Prosper Utsaya was out for 9. Panyangra was out for 1. And Nimbu was out for 1. Chatara was not on 6, as I said. Hamilton Masakadza, who made 70 good runs of 91 balls with 6 fours and 1 6, couldn't get any company from any of the other batsmen, barring Sikandar Raza at the top. And as I said, this total was pretty huge, which was put up by Australia. It was always going to pile on the pressure on the Zimbabwean batting, and that's what precisely happened. And Zimbabwe were all out for 152. Thus Australia registering 198 runs win over Zimbabwe in the first match of the tri-series. The bowling, Mitchell Johnson 6 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 7, on the money there. Mitchell Starc 6 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 23. Kane Richardson 5 overs, 2 maidens, none for 28. In fact, Sikandar Raza was the one who was actually struggling against both Mitchell Johnson and Mitchell Starc. But when Kane Richardson came on, he started unveiling some very good offside strokes. Mitchell Marsh 5 overs, 1 for 15. Nathan Lyon 7 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 42. Faulkner 6 overs, no maiden, 1 for 19. And Stephen Smith 4.3 overs, no maiden, 16 runs and 3 wickets. He was the one who took the maximum number of wickets. And Mitchell Marsh, for his knock of 89, was named man of the match. So that is as far as the first match is concerned. But the next match is something that everyone would be looking out for, because the next match is going to be played between South Africa and Australia. What a match that is going to be. We are going to have a lot of South Africa-Australia matches in the tri-series, no doubt, but as you know, South Africa-Australia matches are always special, as both the teams are absolutely evenly matched, and that should be one hell of a contest coming up. One hell of a contest when the one-day international match is being played in the tri-series between both the teams. Well, now just to tell you that tomorrow, as I said, Sri Lanka and Pakistan are clashing in the second one-day international, and Sri Lanka would be hoping that they could level the series tomorrow. But Pakistan have definitely showed their class. Probably one can also probably attribute it to the fact that they have a new batting coach in Andy Flower, or Grant Flower, I think Andy Flower if I'm not wrong. So that probably is getting reflected. Well, that's only good for Pakistan, and also Pakistan on the eve of the second one-day international have some problems, as Yunus Khan has returned back to Pakistan due to a bereavement in his family. which is unfortunate. And then Sharjeel Khan would be the one who would be opening the innings at Shazan. And you know, Sharjeel Khan is also a very good batsman. He likes to play his strokes, and he could really provide some sort of oomph in the opening thing. And so tomorrow probably it will be Sharjeel Khan and Ahmed Shahzad opening the innings. Mohammad Hafiz coming in one drop, and then followed by Umar Akmal, Misbah-ul-Haq, Fawad Alam, who has been very, very consistent with his stroke. Shoaib Maqsood was the hero, as you know. And then we have the Shahid Afridi, the big hitter, Wahab Riaz, Junaid Khan, Mohammad Irfan. For Sri Lanka, they would definitely be under pressure because they would like to level the series as quickly as possible. Well, they definitely have to get their bearings right tomorrow. I'm not going to do any preview here, just generally talking about the Sri Lankans. They are definitely capable of that, but it all depends on whether they can do it tomorrow against Pakistan, because definitely in the first one-day international too, Sri Lanka would have fancied their chances. But as I said, from 106 for 5, Dinesh Chandimal and Fawad Alam took the game away from Sri Lanka. Now I'm going to take you down to the live cricket update now of this match, and as I'm talking to you, Dinesh Ramadan has played a beautiful shot here. In fact, he has hit 1, 4 and 3 consecutive sixes of the bowling of Mashraf Murtaza. That's some batting here from Dinesh Ramadan. The fourth delivery of the 37th over with Mashraf Murtaza bowled disappeared for a 6, as it was hammered over the extra cover for a 6 by Dinesh Ramadan. And then there was another one which was shot on the middle stump, and well, it was not a shot which Ramadan played, in the sense it went the other way and the ball still sailed over the fence for a 6. As I said, the ground is small, and then Mashraf Murtaza bowled to Ramadan the final delivery, which was a Yorker, but unfortunately for him, that turned out to be an over-pitch delivery, and Dinesh Ramadan smacked it straight over the Mashraf Murtaza's head for a big 6. What shots played by Ramadan here, and Ramadan is absolutely in his element. In fact, he has raced to 122 of just 94 deliveries with 6 4s and 8 6s, and Darren Bravo is not out on 98 of 108 balls. 7 4s and 6s are really hurting the Bangladeshi bowling here. And as I said, Bangladesh have lost the plot here, because just to recap what happened, we are in the 39th over right now. It's electrifying, absolutely electric right now, because as I said, West Indies are in the box seat right now. They didn't have a good start. West Indies won the toss today in the final one-day international here at Warner Park Basseterre in St. Kitts, but West Indies didn't have their way at all, because the openers were dismissed quite early in the piece. The first to go was Lyndon Simmons, who holed out to Mahmudullah in the long-off region of the bowling of Mashraf Murtaza for 6, and then Al Amin Hussain sent back Chris Gale, caught behind for 6 with 1-4, and the West Indies innings was really shaky at 12 for 2. And look at what these two batsmen have done. They have put on a partnership of 224 runs for the third wicket, which is still going strong. Darren Bravo is 98 not out. Dinesh Ramadan is 122 not out of 94 balls with 6 4s and 8 6s. And now the West Indies batsmen will have the luxury of pasting the Bangladeshi bowlers, because they have nothing to, because they are already 2-0 up in the series, and the ground is small, and I wouldn't be surprised if even West Indies reach a score of 375 in 50 overs. But well, let's wait and watch what happens. We are waiting for Darren Bravo. Probably I'll keep my cricket broadcast going till such time Darren Bravo reaches a century. Let me see what I can do, dear fans and subscribers. Let us look at the bowling first. Sohag Ghazi has been going for plenty. 7.2 overs, no maiden, none for 51, smacked all across the park. Mashraf Murtaza in the last over was given a real pounding by Dinesh Ramadan, who hit him for 4 and 3 6s of 4 consecutive balls. 8 overs, no maiden, 1 for 51. Al Amin Hussain has been the pick of the bowlers today. 6 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 25 for him. Abdul Razak, 7 overs, no maiden, none for 48. Mahmudullah has bowled very well, I thought. 9 overs, 1 maiden, none for 41. And Mominul Haq 1 over went for 19. So as I said, as I promised you, dear fans and subscribers, I'm going to keep this cricket happenings going till such time Darren Bravo reaches a century. So let me see what's happening here at St. Bassetry in Bassetry in St. Kitts. So while I'm just talking to you here, I'm waiting. Yes, Darren Bravo has reached a century. So my cricket happening show is about to end here as Abdul Razak bowls to Darren Bravo. And let me tell you, Bravo has tickled it for a single. And finally, Darren Bravo has gone on to 100. So the match situation, as I'm going to leave you, dear fans, friends, subscribers, on this with this cricket update on the Cricket Happening show today. West Indies won the toss and elected to bat against Bangladesh in the final one-day international. Are 241 for 2. Dinesh Ramadan is not out on 123 of 95 deliveries with 6 fours and 8 sixes. Darren Bravo has just reached his 100 of 112 balls with 7 fours and 6 sixes. And let me also tell you, I am told this is the highest partnership, best partnership, is the best partnership for any wicket by the West Indies in one-day internationals. In fact, the partnership is right now is worth 230 runs in 34.4 overs. They have gone at a clip of 6.63 runs per over. And as I said, I'm not going to be surprised if this West Indies total today is going to swell beyond the 370 mark. As I said, it's a small ground, but again, Bangladesh are going to be under tremendous pressure in this final one-day international. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I wouldn't know whether I will have any more time in this YouTube broadcast. Probably, if at all the match ends and if at all I have time at my disposal, I'll try to come and do one more cricket show. But I can't promise you, dear fans and subscribers, with this little cricket update here from Bassetry in St. Kitts in the final one-day international, your host Ram would like to end the cricket show for today. Thanks for your company, and hopefully I will try to see you in my next cricket show today itself, or probably it will be tomorrow morning. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.